Jerry, give me a thumbs up. Okay, good, perfect. Welcome everybody to 1 Million Cups. My name is Jamie Stalbert. I am the Master of Ceremonies here at our chapter. For those of you not familiar, 1 Million Cups is a program put on by the Kauffman Foundation. We are a nonprofit program. Our goal is to bring entrepreneurs together over 1 million cups of coffee. So we do that by having presenters come in each week, talk about their business for 6 minutes, and then get feedback and community interaction for 20 minutes. So today we have Ethan with Bar Manager, and he's going to talk to us a little bit more about his company and hopefully get some NCAU practice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. Well, I'll give you the little clicker here if you would like to use it. And then make sure that folks on Zoom can see our presentation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Jim called me last night and said, hey, you want to do a 6-minute presentation? I said, yeah, man, I'll keep it to 5 minutes. He said, well, let's go and narrow that down to 3. So I'm going to roll through this thing as quickly as possible. My name's Ethan Bickley, right? So spent 11 years in the military private security industry. Finished my MBA at UNCW in 2017. And now I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Bar Membership as well as co-founder. Came on board with the company in 2018. And I'm the only W-2 employee, so. There we go. Management team. Amga is the CEO and founder of the company. He has you can read for yourself, right? He has an extensive capability as far as technology is concerned. And then Kevin Carlson's business mentor. He's been on board our membership since 2018 as well, about the same time I got there. He's kind of a close friend, mentor, advisor. I kind of joke with him that he is the director of the board because there is no board. But he's helping us, right? And so, you know, in the position I'm in, I'm an operations guy, right? So I feel like we're in a really good position because of the expertise in technology from Amga, as well as the expertise just in startup scaling companies from Kevin. So I'm thankful for those guys. So, problems we solve, right? Originally, we came on board 2017 in North Carolina, specifically for private membership clubs, and we made everyone's life easier. We made the bar owner's life easier. They had this fast, efficient, very cost-effective way to maintain their membership, to remain compliant with the law, and then ALE's job got a whole lot easier, right? Now they don't have to go through, search through a bunch of paper applications, memberships, or whatever. And then, as time kind of went by, it kind of turned into like this marketing thing, right? I mean, now the business has name, gender, location, birthday on all their customers. Like, these are things that are like marketers' dreams. To know this ahead of time. When you build out a social media advertising campaign, the first 90 days of that for a digital marketing agency is trying to figure out what the customer is. They're trying to figure out gender, age, location, and so on and so forth from that person. So anyways, we're kind of moving into like this this marketing thing for like hospitality industry, bars as well as restaurants. Right? Let's see if I'm missing anything here. Well, this is what the kiosk looks like as well, right? So this is what sits in a bar, right? And this, I actually assembled the case, the metal iPad case. We can look at this later or whatever, but I actually assembled this, and then the big benefit here is the ID bracket on the back. And then the other good thing about using an iPad for this is everyone has an iPad. Like, you don't have to go spend $1,000 in startup costs to use this system. You just need an iPad, like Generation 4 or newer, like from 2013. So anyways, moving on a bit, before, so at peak, we had about 530 customers, and about 350 customers were actually using the systems on Saturday nights. Law changed July 1st, worst thing could happen to me. Thought I was dust in the wind. Well, it turns out that people kept using the system. And I've actually made a sale in North Carolina to a bar since July 1st. So.
What was the change?
They just did away with the membership laws.
Okay.
So now private clubs don't have to do memberships anymore. And I did experience a significant attrition, right? 60% or something like that. But while I thought that was the absolute worst thing that happened to me, it was also one of the greatest things that happened to me, because then I had market validation that people want to use this thing. And I think that's a big deal. And you got to think about, when I say I had 350 customers using the system, that's 35% of the market share. There's about 1,000 potential customers in North Carolina, and I had 35% of them. And we had a really good, our customer satisfaction rate was through the roof. Now, quite frankly, the law was forcing these people to use it sort of, so, you know what I mean? Would not endorse us, they didn't. Right, that's right. So that's where we're going to go. That's where I'm kind of pivoting this thing into, right? So now we're going to become North America's preeminent hospitality industry marketing and analytics firm. And we're trying to raise capital. We want to finish the customer-facing app. The customer-facing app should allow us to generate enough revenue to actually grow and scale and hire a marketing director, so on and so forth. If you think about how many, we scanned 3.9 million driver's licenses in the past 4 years. So those are the people I'm going to be selling to. So instead of me making $50 a month off 300 customers, I could be making $2 a month off 2 million customers, right? So, and we'll just keep going. That's because I can't say a little NDA stuff going on here, so I can't say too much. But essentially, the big deal is going to be able to match the identity of the person to what they're purchasing. Full circle on marketing capabilities there, and then it's also going to become a thing for the business to be able to improve efficiency, so on and so forth, being able to serve more people, and whatnot. And then it's going to be there's a communication between the business and the customer, right? Drink specials, whatever, lunch specials, whatever that communication might want to have. And there's all kinds of fun stuff we're hopefully building into the app as well, links to Uber, Lyft, maybe turn on some type of dating profile thing. So, I'm in a restaurant and I see Rob across the room and I want him to know that I'm single. Anyways, one of the reasons why am I doing it? What's a driving factor that motivates me every day, right? So I volunteer for the Honor Foundation, and I'd love to be in a position where I could hire these guys and give somebody, a high salary. And the Honor Foundation helps special operations guys transition into the civilian world. And that's what I do as a coach. And I did that essentially. I separated from that industry in 2013 and had a really hard, difficult transition. So, anyways, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So thanks for the opportunity. Feel free to ask me any questions. And if you want to connect after that, that's great.
Awesome. Great job.
How long is that?
That was
8 minutes.
7, 8 minutes, yeah.
Go for it, man. I'm sorry.
All right.
So,
questions.
now that the law has changed, so what incentive is it for me, especially at the moment with everybody, and even companies like Apple clamping down on it with data privacy, et cetera, what's in it for me as a consumer and I go to a bar now to allow them to scan my ID, take my phone number, take my email, take all my info if I don't have to do it by law anymore?
Well, that's kind of on the idea is to create a better customer experience for you. the data collection always comes into like, I always question about like, what's going on, what are you doing with it? Well, we're not doing anything with it, quite frankly. But, you know, if you're on Google, your information's out there. I mean, if you're using the internet, like, you're not hiding anything, right? So, you know, and, you know, there is pushback, right? I mean, I have some bar owners, you know, they're like, we're gonna do it. Like, I don't, you know, so they did an article about this. And the bar owner said, if this guy's gonna give me a problem, because I'm asking for his identification, which quite frankly, you have to provide that anyways, or upon request, right? If they're gonna, you know, you're not gonna walk into a bar and say, no, I can't show you my driver's license.
Well, you have
right?
to show it, you don't have to let him scan.
Right. No, but my point is that the guy said, the bar owner said, if this guy's gonna give me this much problem about scanning his ID, he's gonna give me a problem when he's drunk and I don't want him in here.
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I would.
Well, I mean, I can pull the article up and show you the quote.
No, sorry, I mean, I think he's wrong, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're.
Right.
I think he's wrong. Like, I would have a problem with allowing someone to scan my ID and take all my info.
Well, you know, here's
Just like a drink.
Well, here's the other thing. Like, I'm not alone in this sphere, in this industry, in this market. There are patron scan, ID scan. Like, there's a lot of people.
I'm saying this from a point of view too, where I actually used to own bars and restaurants in Houston.
Yeah.
And I had a place in a location where that law applied. So we had to do this as a business. So I know from what it's like from the other side too.
Right.
But now I'm just kind of curious now that the law has changed from
You know,
a consumer standpoint.
And quite frankly, not everybody's gonna do it, right? I mean, I don't expect every bar, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not gonna be for everyone.
So I think what he's trying to say is you have to have a value proposition for both sides of the equation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we talked about the need, he and I talked this in great detail, about the need to create value for the restaurant and the bar.
Right.
You can do that and describe some of it. The other piece is on the consumer side, right? So anything you have on your phone as an app, it's only there because it brings you value or access to something else. So the point is, what is that value proposition back to the individual customer? And it would be happy hour, reduced
Yeah,
prices.
it's probably more so from the business than from
Yeah.
your system. Like,
Right.
well, if I give this bar my info, what are they giving me back? What am I getting?
So that's it.
back?
So what do I, the consumer, Rob Cooley, who also has a bar and loves bars,
Right.
what do I get out of this? Because if not, it's just another nuisance on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gone. So that's the value proposition. You go to market for both ends of the equation,
Right.
the restaurant side and then the individual customer side. And then it's a SaaS model, right? You turn it on, you pay $2.99 a month or whatever, and off it goes. But you've got to determine and declare what that value is to the individual customer. Again, reduce prices, access to happy hours, seeing what they're going to do some
Yeah.
fun things. That may be enough to move over the edge,
Yeah.
or not. And that's where you really got to refine that end of the spectrum. And then pause, right? If you're going to be a customer relationship management software now after the kind of laws have gone away, well, then you need to go integrate with the POS guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the Aloha's, the Toasts, right, the Square, because now it's an integrated piece. And they're running their back office. You're independent, right? You just are providing the capability through a bolt-on API, whatever it is, but you're providing that data to them in a single transaction. Right? Now all that data is right there, and the bartender can say, hey, Joe, good to see you again. Is that Jack and Coke ready?
Yeah.
Right? As a former bartender as well, we knew our customers, right? We knew exactly when Rob walked in,
Yeah.
he was a Jack and Coke guy. They like a little more Jack up front, and then it had that. I mean, there's a gamesmanship in this industry, but there's absolutely importance to data relationship, and that's. Right, if I was going to quantify what you were doing in those 3 slides, that's what I would say you're doing.
And so what, as a bar patron, for anyone in the room, what's the value?
But that's
Why
my
would
point. The only reason why I go to a bar because I like the atmosphere, I like something, my buddies are there. So now you're creating a network of networks,
Yep.
and I can share, hey, Red Dogs.
Yep,
and
yeah.
little
It's going to be
things.
probably different by bar too, because there's
Exactly.
different clientele you're appealing to.
Exactly.
I don't really care. I don't go to happy hours.
Well,
I don't
that
care
would
if
be-
bar's going to give you a discount.
You and I don't.
Or something else. Yeah, right. But 10 years ago, it.
There's a whole group.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
a whole group that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Any $4 off of a drink.
Right. So it's just different from place to place. Yeah.
And that's the marketing side on the other piece. But then the social credits that go to the organizer, it's always one in a group. I am the party kind of organizer. They can bring their buddies in there, and then the bar can say, look, you just brought in 20 folks, here, I'll give you a credit card next time you come in there. The power of that data is pretty amazing, right? All of our restaurants and bars, we're focused on bringing eyeballs into the restaurant. And in this little town, the competition is overwhelming. So if you can change that model, both on like the demand side and the consumer side, then you've got something that can really, really be interesting.
Yeah.
Are there any thoughts to integrate, like a payment portal or anything like that? Like it clicks over and it says, okay, you owe, $17, you hit the button, boom.
Yeah,
Instead
that-
of having to worry about.
Yeah, I didn't want to get too much into the weeds, but like, so what Rob was talking about, like, we got an idea for that where you could, custom spacing out, you'd be able to see male to female ratios of bars. So if you're going, want to go to the boys, you know where the boys are, right? Flip-flop, whatever, and then everything else included in that. And then you'd also be able to see, like, if you have the location on, you could, Rob could see that I'm at Red Dogs, so on and so forth, and yes, payments, that's part of it as well. So all that stuff's almost finished.
What cybersecurity stuff do you have in place? Because that's a lot of
Yeah,
liability.
so Amga runs a company called Lycodis, and he does a lot of work for hospitals, banks, so everything is as secure, all that is already secure as secure as possible. Thank you.
So in North Carolina, the law changed.
Correct.
Yeah, so basically, hi, expert on bars here.
I love this. Good.
So basically, when you used to go to some bars, not all bars, because some, I think if it's like a restaurant, like during the day, you don't have to have a membership program.
Less than 40% of your income?
Yeah, so you have to buy a little membership card, and that, sometimes it's like $1, sometimes it's like $5, but you need that in order to get into that bar.
Wine
so-
Elephant was like that for a while.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah, most of it.
Yeah, Blue Coast. So they got rid of the law that requires the membership, but it doesn't necessarily get rid of, checking IDs, scanning IDs, things like that. Those are all standard, bar security measures, but the membership to the bar is no longer a thing. I was actually at Blue Coast when they got rid of it.
But now, that's just for North Carolina, so there's still states that require it, right?
Right, and there's still like 8 other states that are, their membership requirements, correct?
And are you in those states?
Yeah, I got us approved in South Carolina. I always want to get like government approval, to say that this thing's gonna, meets all the aspects of the law before I really kind of sell it to people, try to sell it to people. Excuse me, but it just takes too long. Like, I've been waiting on Texas to give me approval for like months now. It's like, I'm just gonna stop doing that. I'm just gonna sell it to people. If they want to use it, they can use it. If it fixes their problem, it fixes their problem. Right?
But it also sounds like it solves multiple problems, right? Because even though you don't have to have a membership, it still checks the ID, it's still good.
Yeah, so, a lot of the things, so, as soon as the law changed, the first thing I did is I sent out an email to all 500 and some odd customers for our membership, and basically I was like, we're still here, we're not shutting down, I guess, yet. And then I asked them for suggestions, like, why are you using it, what do you want it to do, right? So, the big ones are ID verification, like, we're gonna build in something that has basically like 3 kind of different things where it comes up when they scan it or check in, either one, under 18, 18 to 21, or 21 and above, right? All the people, a lot of people want that. So ID verification, marketing, right? And then the other big one is in the bar industry is a lot of bar owners want to know who's in their bar, because if something happens, right, then they've got a record of that. And that's how it played out in the past. There's been instances where the security camera essentially matches the check-in roster, and then they can find out who the person is. Because otherwise, you're just looking at the camera, right? I mean, you're just looking at, you're just looking at somebody's face. You don't know who, you gotta match a name, you gotta match this up.
Well, I'll say too that one of the criticisms of actually getting rid of that membership law is exactly what you were just talking about. If somebody, gets in a fight or does something incredibly illegal in a bar, having that membership allows those people who own the bar to say, okay, well, this guy is not allowed back. Like, we know his name, we know who he is. So if you don't have that membership in place and people are just coming into a bar, there's not really a way to track who is there. So if something like that does happen, you can just say, hey, give me your name, and they can give you a fake name. So that's been one of the criticisms of it so far. So that could be a potential value proposition.
Yeah.
Can I ask another question real quick?
Please.
Like, you can stop me. But.
Watch it.
But what about other industries, right? What about, can this be moved to some?
Wherever, man. We were having this conversation.
Okay, so the churches probably aren't gonna sign up for bar membership, but
Yeah,
are
right.
there other places that might sign up for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, there's any place, I mean, there's 1,000 applications for this technology, right? There's access control built for buildings, for physical security buildings or something. You can have it in a dentist's office, any place you have to fill out the same paper form 4 times, you just scan it, populates the form electronically, you're done, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's a lot.
And I mentioned this just before you started talking, is that, I'm working with the North Carolina Oyster Trail, right? And so they're suffering from too much success, right? They rolled out this idea with funding from the North Carolina Tourism, and now they've got 40 or 50 groups that have signed up, and they have no way of tracking who's going to these different places from Wilmington all the way to the Virginia border, right? And so where,
Right.
something like this could be used among this kind of a network to say, okay, who's going where and what are they doing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's also, I mean, at its core, it was originally a membership management tool, right? I mean, that was it. And, there's also that market where there are people, like, I got a call from a guy in Miami a couple months ago, and he's like, I'm opening a private club, right? He does not require by law to have a private club. He just wants to have a private club. He's like, it's capped at 200 members, it's gonna be $500 a year, unless somebody drops off the 200, I'm not gonna allow anybody else to become a member and this, that. So I mean, for him, like, perfect, right? Private cigar lounges, like we're in a cigar lounge in Georgia, and they don't even serve, I don't think he serves alcohol. Like, he just wants it for the membership part. Like, he found us by himself, which is pretty remarkable, I think, for a tech startup to have a customer finding you. You know what I mean?
So that should help you to go-to-market strategy. I think that's what Troy's really trying to kind of push you to.
Yeah.
So rather than being to the Jack and Jill kind of bars, look at the slice of the private clubs, country clubs, right? Private cigar. That may be a different way because they're not looking necessarily at compliance, they're looking at who's in the club at that particular point.
Yeah,
And targeted marketing to their membership goes a long, long, long way.
Yeah, I've tried to get into a lot of country clubs, man. I've tried to sell it to a lot of country clubs.
Well, that's previously, I mean, in today's law now, I mean, with the law change and the way you're restructuring, you're thinking about it, first of all, to take bar off. As you're rebranding, you gotta take that bar off, because if you go to other industries, bars just have a bad
Well,
connotation.
I'll tell you my idea on that. I'm gonna change bar from bar, drinking bar, to bar to the barcode on the back of the driver's license. And then rebrand it bar membership, but not associated necessarily with bars.
Drinking thing on another name. Just something, again, bars have.
Well, we trademarked that though, and I think it's a.
You can hold it, you can have a bar.
Oh, yeah, we can always
I'm
write it.
just saying, if you wanna go to all the other industries, having bar in your name, just, anyway, so
Yeah.
that's what, I think that now you have another opportunity to refresh, use that as a point of reference, right? And then start to look at some of the more private clubs, because that's a different model set than a Jack and Jill bar that's looking to get as many.
Send it, Ted.
You talked about private clubs, and usually there's a fee, but I wouldn't be opposed to a club proposing, hey, we're a members-only club, but you have to provide your personal information, name, phone number, email address, or license, and that's the only people that we let in. So that's another way of doing it, that you can offer something to a club where you can help them manage their membership, but it's not a money-based thing. That's just one idea. And the other idea is your application limited to running only off of a license image, or could it be flexible that as long as a person provides their legal name or the name that appears on their license and their phone number and their state of residence, like if they're just comfortable giving that information, you can correlate to what you already have in the database from licenses, and then those that are not, recorded with a license image?
So it scans the barcode on the back of the driver's license, so it doesn't do really anything with the front.
Okay,
We have had customers say they want it to take a picture of the front of their ID. So we got some people want to scan the barcode, take a picture of the identification card on the front side with the name and information and all that. And then they also want the front rear facing camera to take a picture of the person's face.
Hmm.
So,
and often
and they all vary, people vary. Sometimes they're like, oh, some people tell me that I want this and I want to take a picture of ID. Some people say I want it to scan and I want to take a picture of their face. So like, and that's probably, like moving forward, if I'm thinking down the road, partnering with like a facial recognition people. Somebody's firm like that to be able to like, or, there's, well, maybe not, maybe I build it out, maybe the dev team just builds it.
depends how deep you decide to go. But, and I've noticed also that a lot of the places will ask for my phone number. So
Yeah, and that's
that connects you from the person to the ID to the,
Well, that's the SMS texting that goes in the marketing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah, and I got people that pay, like one customer told me that if you wanted to send 10,000 emails a month with MailChimp, it would cost $250. And they were paying $50 a month for that with us, on top of all the other stuff. And then you talk about text message marketing, generally speaking, according to my customers, it's a company called Jimble, and they spend about $100 a month for text message marketing as well. Now, if I can wrap all that stuff up into something, for $100, then, just on that alone is a lot of value, right?
yeah.
And we've got time for one more question. Yes.
Hey, thanks a lot, Joseph. Nice to meet you.
Thanks,
Tell me a
Joe.
little bit about your mission. How do you connect people coming out of special operations to this? What's your metrics? Do you want to hire a certain amount of people? What's your...
Well, I'm not even close to that.
Okay.
To be honest with you, dude. I'm the only W-2 employee in the company.
I got you.
On the side, for about the past year and a half, I've been volunteering as a coach for the Honor Foundation. So that's just like, I'd love to be in a position where like some guy gets out, we match up really well, and I need some type of skill set of this guy, to do that. Yeah, when you're in the military and private security industry, there's like, we talk about this stuff at the Veteran Business Collective, but there's three things you have. Chase always mentions that, we have purpose, we're wearing an American flag on our sleeve every day, right? Camaraderie, we have these incredible team bonds, and then we're financially stable, right? We get paid on the 1st and 15th every month, right? And so when you get out in the civilian world, it's not like that.
Yeah.
You lose all of those things practically a week. So, well, not necessarily the money thing, but you know where I'm going with that, right? You just don't, it's just not the same. So anyways, that's my end goal, would be a position where I can do something.
And how many people do you envision serving? Do you have a big team in the future?
I honestly, man, I don't know.
Okay.
Because, I don't even know. 2 months ago, I thought I was out of business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I would scale it as big as it can get,
Okay.
where it's being if it's being beneficial, right?
That really hit my heart, the part about that, and I personally put it in the beginning. I let that fire burn up front in the beginning, let people feel that.
Yeah.
And it might be a separate project than this. So whatever you do for special operations veterans, I'm all about that. That really caught me.
Cool.
Yeah, put it
Thank
up
you,
front,
man.
show people that, and then it might be two different things.
Yeah, I questioned putting in that why slide myself, and I was like, you know what? No, I think I should say like, what are some of the motivators? Why am I doing this? Like, why am I asking for money?
Oh, yeah.
Other than like to be able to pay my own bills. but yeah, no, absolutely, man.
I worked with a group at a community college locally last year, and I saw the struggle. That's what I'm saying, it hit my emotional string,
Yeah.
part of the emotional part of entrepreneurialism.
Yeah.
So there's a need for it. Rebellion comes up too, just
Yep.
as a local, thing.
Absolutely.
Let me know if I can help you in any way, because I've seen that struggle play out, and if your mission is to build a business around that, that might be an in to get more funding. The why, the purpose may draw
Right,
some philanthropy and some people to help you out up front.
yeah.
It's a great mission.
That's
And it
awesome.
also goes with the serving and protecting of the software, the ideology. Ex-military people can get on that because they understand the importance of it.
You know, and I try and embrace like the servant leader mindset.
Yeah.
Right? And that's at the end of the day, that's what this thing should turn into.
Yeah.
It's serving this customer. The business should use it because it's going to serve their customers better. Right?
Yeah.
All right, great job. Now it's time for community announcements. So does anybody that they have anything that they would like to share with the community?